Hello guys. Welcome to the channel. Let me get my microphone on. I thought I already had it on. Welcome to Divine Truth Tarot. I'm Sarah. I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader for today's reading. If you're new, thank you for being here. Welcome. Have a look around. This is a very supportive community and family that we have built here and continue to build. I thank you all so much for your support, not only of your journey, right, but your support of everyone here, your support of this channel, of our channel, your support of myself. And, this is the most challenging soul journey, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that we could have chosen to make in this incarnation, or really in any incarnation. And so I think it's highly important that we connect and that we have people that understand what we're going through, especially during times of separation. So if you are in separation from your divine masculine or divine feminine, well, I actually did this specifically for divine masculines because we have mostly divine feminines watching the channel. I did a video yesterday. I believe it was my second video from yesterday. So go check that out. I'll try to remember to put the link below, but it was specifically for those who are in separation with no communication and what that means, what your masculine's doing in the 3D. I don't do a lot of readings focusing on the karmic, but I did want to focus on what's going on just a tad in their 3D lives and in situations. So those that are in karmic connections or marriages or relationships. So have a look at that. And we're going to do sort of a spooky theme today. I've got my Everyday Witch Tarot, Halloween Oracle. I pulled out the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I haven't worked with in months. And I also have the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So we are going to start with the Everyday Witch Tarot. So we'll just clear these out of the way. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you can, give the video a like, a share helps immensely. That's how I grew my last channel organically, just from people sharing the videos. So if you're comfortable, share the videos and just enjoy the video. Sit back, relax, have some vegan popcorn. Those of you who've been following me know that I am indeed vegan, so have some vegan popcorn and let's get the show on the road. There we go, clearing some space. Let's go ahead and together invite in Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Gabriel in particular. I like to call in those four archangels to assist us with this reading. Also calling in my ancestors, my guides, my light team, of which I have a full light team. So please be present for this reading and please create a sphere of protection around this reading, around these cards, around anyone and everyone watching, and around myself as well. Thank you, and so it is. So looking for clarity on this journey and these connections. So what I'd like to do right now is focus on divine feminine. What is going on for the divine feminine? Queen of Pentacles. This is coming up over and over and over. I'm seeing a lot of the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles for the divine feminine. We've got a lot of cards here. So let's take a look. Let me take a look here. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. So 4 positive cards, 1 card, I'm not going to even call it negative, 1 card that's a little challenging. So a challenging aspect, a challenging energy. But the overarching energy, the overarching theme for you, Divine Feminine, is the Queen of Pentacles. What this tells me is you're sitting high and mighty on your throne. Now, I am hearing that some of you might be an ego. So there's sort of this ego circulating right now, this egoic energy that says, I'm better off without them. I'm moving on. I don't need, if your masculine hasn't been present for quite some time, I'm seeing and hearing a lot of this. And I've even been sort of feeling it myself, but it doesn't feel like my energy. So when that happens, I always sort of presume that this is the collective's energy. So I think this is a divine feminine, but this could be you picking up on your divine masculine's energy, where the masculine's just feeling like giving up because it feels too hard. Okay, so the masculines are in this place of, it's sort of like, I know that I have to take action because I feel my divine feminine slipping away. And the divine feminine sitting over here on her throne, and she is highly independent at this point in the journey. She has healed so much. She came into inner union this summer, or potentially prior, but most of us came into inner union this summer at some point. And she's just sort of sitting back. She's no longer waiting on the masculine to fulfill her, to make her whole, or to cater to her needs because she's already done that herself. So when the masculine comes back in, it's almost like they're not sure how to approach you, divine feminine, because you have everything you want in the material world. You've created that. You've been hard at work in creating that life for yourself. So now the divine masculine's like, well, let me just move these a little bit closer for you guys. The divine masculine's like, well, this is all fine and dandy, but what am I supposed to do with this? Like, where do I fit in to his or her world now that he or she has it all? Like, where do I fit in? And masculines are watching from a distance, most of them. Even if you're in communications, it's probably sparse. For a lot of feminines, what I'm getting is even if you're in communication, your masculine has sort of dropped off a little bit in the communication. So if they used to reply quicker, they're now taking hours or days to respond, or their texts or messages are going unread. This is sort of the overarching theme for the divine masculine collective right now, that many of them are in deep contemplation, in deep cleansing and purging and purifying. That's why I talked about last week. If you haven't checked out those videos, go check them out, because they're very potent and powerful over the past several weeks, in fact, as I've had lots of downloads and I've had lots of my gifts come online, and even stronger than before, as many of you are experiencing as well. And what I wanted to say about this is that, this is the card of celebration. Four of Wands can also indicate marriage. So it could be that you're attending marriages, you're attending celebrations, you're attending parties at this time with your friends, divine feminine, and you're just really celebrating life. And this is your life that's been created with or without your divine masculine. You would rather have them there, but you're accepting that if they're not there in the physical, that there's probably a reason for it, and you're sort of just allowing that to be. The feminine's no longer chasing. She's not in chasing energy. She's exhausted because that really depletes her energy, her reservoirs of energy, and it leaves her feeling unfulfilled. So feminine, your masculine's watching you over here celebrating, okay? Really having everything you want, and you can understand why they're saying, like, what does she need me for? I mean, in the past version of you that your masculine met, when you first met, he thought or she thought, oh, I can offer this person something. It was, I think for a lot of the masculines, I'm going to be real, and masculines, if you're watching, please don't take offense to this. It was just the state that the masculines were in. They were still very 3D oriented, and they thought they could get their feminine's attention or buy her or his love with money, with gifts, with sort of impressing you on some level. And now the masculines are like, oh shit, I mean, she's impressing herself, or he's impressing himself over there. So look at my feminine. I mean, what in the world could I offer to this person? And so it's leaving your masculine feeling left out in the cold. But in the same token, because this is the energy for the feminine, right? You're feeling left out in the cold of your masculine's life because neither of you are you haven't made any headway in quite some time with communication. Now, I realize that maybe about 10% of the masculines are coming forward at this time because I am, some of you are in communication. So if you are trying to, yeah, there we go. I'm trying to get rid of the glare. If you are in communication, let me know down below, because it's always nice to hear that for those of us who aren't. And if you are not in communication, you're definitely feeling left out in the cold, because it's been quite some time for many of these feminines to have had a significant conversation with the masculines. And even if those who are in communication, many of what you're finding and receiving is sort of that cold, detached energy still from the masculine. It's not a promise of commitment. It's not a promise of stability. It's not a promise of a foundation yet. And they're probably saying things that are quite hurtful for the feminine. They're probably saying things like, I don't know how this could ever work. How could this ever work in this lifetime? So they're still working things out, so to speak. And that's really aggravating for the feminine, because the feminine feels like, I've put in so much work up to this point. How could it still be an unsure thing? How could you still be uncertain about the way you feel or about committing to this connection? So it doesn't make sense to the feminine. And the feminine's having this moment where they just feel like, I just need to live my life and celebrate me and find reasons to celebrate, feminine. And that's exactly what you're doing, is you're finding reasons to celebrate. And you're also working together with other feminines, right? Three of Pentacles, working together to find a common solution to a problem, right? And what is that? That's ascension. This is the ascension journey. This is the new earth that we're birthing. So feminines are very busy over here. Pentacles indicates work, it indicates career, it indicates abundance and finances. The feminines are working on this aspect of their lives, and they're saying, right, you're saying here to me, I do feel left out, and I do sort of feel like I wish that I felt more warmth inside of my connection. But what the feminine's doing to fill up herself or himself is really to focus on their mission, to focus on your soul purpose, okay, your destiny. What am I here for? And we have the King of Cups coming in. I actually feel like, feminine, this is your energy. This is you giving to yourself. This is the feminine saying, you know what, fine. And this is where that little bit of ego is coming in. You know, you're not coming in. Maybe my ship has sailed, divine masculine. So a lot of us are getting our egos flaring up at this time. So it could just be that you're just fed up. And so you're saying, I'm going to give to myself what you're refusing to give me, or what you cannot give me. And you see, you know, this king is looking a little cocky, right? He's got his cup full. He's got, what, his telescope? He's checking something out. There's a mermaid in the water there. There's a dolphin. The cat's playing with a fish. All is well in his world. He doesn't need anything. Okay, similar to the Queen of Pentacles. It's sort of this energy of like, well, I don't really need you, divine masculine. So I think a lot of feminines are asking themselves right now, what would I do if my divine masculine came in tomorrow? Would I really accept them? It's almost like a fear now of, oh gosh, if they are coming in, if they actually do come in, where do they fit into my life? Because the feminine has a very busy schedule right now. She or he is not the person that, you're not the person that you used to be, that your masculine knew, you know, a year ago or earlier this year or last year or whenever it was that you went out of communication. You have changed tremendously, and yet the masculine's changed tremendously as well. So I don't want to sit over here and just say, oh, the feminine's doing all the work. No, the masculine's doing the work too. We're going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot for the masculines, because I just feel like the masculines are in this energy of, they're in this sort of wild energy right now. The feminine's in this very, I don't want to say 3D energy, but she's 3D oriented at this time for sure, you know, with the Pentacles energy coming in and the Earth energy. The feminine is very rooted right now in creating a life for herself. And it's sort of like the feminine says, well, if the masculine's not going to show up in this lifetime, right? Again, this is partly ego. I have to create this wealth for myself. I have to create my happiness. I have to create what it is that I wish to have in this life, the success that I wish, and I need to create that on my own. And we know for a fact, just from the law of attraction, right, that whenever we put that out there into the universe, that's what comes back to us tenfold. So the feminine sort of knows on some level that this is what I have to do to actually get to outer union, is I have to first have a very, very fulfilling life on my own, and then my masculine can come in. And then when my masculine comes in, it will be a different angle, a different perspective, and we will both be more fulfilled. And it won't be sort of from a place of lack. It won't be that lack consciousness. So masculines, not feeling so hot. I can't say that I'm surprised based on the symptoms I had last week that are sort of finally trailing off now. They started Tuesday and they are now trailing off. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days of this ascension flu that I was transmuting for my masculine and all the masculines. And so this is a 10 of Wands. Okay, the masculine, there's definitely, there's a burden that the masculine is feeling. There's a sense of responsibility the masculine feels. It's very heavy on his soul and heart and mind right now. And there's a sense you can see of, there's a trapped feeling here that the masculines feel like, I don't really know. The masculines are almost saying like, I don't really know what else I could possibly do. They're sort of not asking for help. And I feel like there's so much burden going on with the masculines. There's so much that's on their mind at this time. And they're seeing the feminine, they're feeling the feminine over here. Because even when you're in separation, they feel you. Even if they're not admitting to it, even if they deny it. And the masculine's like, I don't know what to do. The burden, part of the burden for the masculines is feeling like there's nothing they can do anymore to sort of impress the feminine. That's what, okay, thank you, Spirit. Yeah, they want to impress the feminine, but what can I do to impress her? I don't know what to do. So let's get some more. What's going on with the divine masculine, Spirit? Okay, wow. Okay, I'm seeing a sacrificial lamb. 4 of Swords. This is very much a sacrificial lamb. Now, the masculine realizes, I'm going to have to make some major sacrifices in my life. And it's almost like the masculines are going, don't get triggered, or maybe get triggered. Maybe that's what needs to happen, feminine. Is it worth it for me to give up everything to pursue this connection when it's not even a guarantee? Because the feminine's moved away. She had to move away. She had self-respect, she had self-preservation, and she had to come out of self-betrayal so she could show her masculine, this is how it's done, masculine. This is how you get out of that mode of self-betrayal. This is how you get out of that mode of feeling like the universe is against you and feeling like you have to stay stuck. So the feminine had to light the way, and she had to step into her power on her own, independently. And, you know, the 4 of Swords is about rest. It's about renewal. Right? You can see the light starting to shine here. There's a third eye, but it's very much a solar plexus activation because it's the sun, and the solar plexus is the seat of your personal power. It's your personal sun. So there's solar plexus activations going on for the masculines, or the need for solar plexus activations, and self-worth. Still self-worth issues still coming up. Yes, still coming up. This has been coming up for weeks or months for the masculines, as well as seeing things clearly. So the masculines are in this state. I mean, very much the 10 of Wands and the 4 of Swords, those 2 cards together indicate the masculines need to rest and recharge their batteries. So if you're not seeing action, these cards are not cards of action whatsoever. The masculines are laying their burdens down, and they are deciding, like they're figuring out how to get their light back. And they're realizing that they have to turn the light back on themselves because the feminine can't be there to do that all the time. But I still think there's some anger coming up for the masculines right now. And the anger that I feel that's coming up for the masculines is because they feel betrayed. They're going to figure out, okay, they're going to figure out, feminines, that it's actually self-betrayal, but it's much easier to blame the feminine and say, well, they're the reason that I feel this way. They betrayed me, right? They left me, they abandoned me. But in actuality, it goes back to their childhood and unresolved trauma and unresolved wounds, and it goes back to them having to heal themselves and having to really face the music about their own healing process and progress. So really has nothing to do with the feminine. That's just sort of the easy way out that the masculines have been able to take in the past with other partners, and the feminine says, no way. I'm going to hold you responsible and accountable for your actions. And that's part of holding up the divine mirror. That's part of what the twins represent, is this divine mirror that says, I'm going to hold this up to you so that you can heal, because that's how much I love you. I love you enough to see you through the pain, to see you through the healing, to see you through the disillusionment, right? To see you through the self-abandonment, to see you through the self-betrayal. I know it's going to hurt, and you might even hate me, but this is what I have to do. Here's your mirror. And then the feminine walked away. And then the masculine walked away from the feminine after that because he was so hurt. You see this is the Queen of Wands. This is the Mother of Wands in this deck. The Queen of Wands. But you see the protection. She's very protective, okay, of her young, of her eggs. She's protective of her babies. Masculine's feeling very protective of himself right now. Masculine is sort of ready to strike. Although, not necessarily, only if prompted, only if a predator comes. But right now, you might be the predator, divine feminine. He may see you as a divine predator. So the masculines are, again, these are not cards of action. Okay, we're not in an action stage at this particular time. And I don't expect to see a lot of action until the end of November, early December. True inspired action from the masculines. The masculines are definitely in this place of just self-protection. They're coiled very tightly within to their own. It's like the womb. Like they're trying to go back to the womb, and they're trying to do this deep womb healing. Some of them may actually be doing womb healing, and they might surprise themselves with the fact that they actually are inspired to do this type of healing. They don't think it's like fruity, that they actually think this could do something. So they might be doing some really deep healing. Wow, divine masculines. Whew. 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands. 10 of Swords. Okay? 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. I mean, 10s indicate completions. major clearing out, major cleaning up in the masculine's life. I mean, but he feels like he's been stabbed in the back, stabbed in the heart, stabbed in the soul, stabbed everywhere. He's been stabbed by everyone. So he feels like the world is out to get him at this time. Okay, this is why you're not hearing from your masculine. This is why, if you're in communication, your masculine's pulling back. You have these two cards. I actually want to put them together. You have the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Burdens. Right? Having to carry everything alone, having to go it alone, feeling very alone, feeling very abandoned. Okay? Going within, right? We have the lamb, the sacrificial lamb, right? And we have the coiled up snake protecting its young, protecting himself or herself. The masculines are not in a place of deep self-love yet. This is going to take them there. But at this particular time in the journey, there's been a little bit of a twist. Okay, from a few weeks ago or a week or two ago when things were looking up. There's been a little bit of a twist. There's a little bit of a hiccup in the journey for the masculines as they realize, oh shit, I have more healing to do. Okay, they have more healing to do, feminines, than they realize and then you realize. One more card for the masculines. Well, that's a positive card. But we have the 3 of Swords on the bottom, okay? Okay, they want me to actually pull this one. The 3 of Swords and the Star, okay, and the High Priestess. Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh, and the 6 of Cups. Okay, got it. Okay, the 4 cards that I just spoke of are the cards, the energy that's being hidden. It's on the bottom of the deck, but Spirit kept on saying, pull the next card, pull the next card. But the Ace of Pentacles. So we have the trunk of a tree. The tree trunk can indicate the age of the tree. So what I see here is the energy. Pentacles is, again, earth energy. It's new beginnings that are solid, that solid foundation. So all this breakdown energy, all of this resting, all this going within is leading up to, it's like mounting energy. It's building the energy. It's leading up to this new beginning. And I actually want to, because it's been so long since I worked with this deck, I'm going to just check out the book. Because I remember there's something really interesting that it speaks of for this Ace of Pentacles card in regards to the tree trunk. Prosperous beginnings. In the center of even the giant redwood, I can't say it, redwood trees, a tiny seedling once stood. Such is the energy of the Ace of Pentacles. It's the seed that takes root, grounding you for the future. That's exactly, the masculines, they don't realize it, but they're laying the foundation for their future with you. You're in the beginning phases of a prosperous venture. Stay grounded, go outside, and take time to appreciate nature. You may also find a windfall of wealth headed your way. So there's very positive things coming. It's just that the masculines can't feel it, they can't see it, and so they can't process it right now. Now, going back to the feminines, we have the 6 of Cups. I'm sorry, not the feminines. This is still the masculine's energy. 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. The High Priestess, the Star, and the 3 of Cups. I'm sorry, 3 of Swords. Okay, so the first one to come up was the 3 of Swords, followed by the Star, then the High Priestess, then the 6 of Cups, okay? So there's a story that's being told, okay? The story that's being told here with the 3 of Swords and the Star says, of course, heartbreak, deception, betrayal. I mean, really immeasurable heartbreak. The masculines are absolutely heartbroken because for a lot of the masculines, going and moving towards their destiny, towards their feminine, involves them breaking away from old patterns, old belief systems, old relationships, their family, etc., etc. So the masculines are faced with this undeniable pain of having to leave things behind in order to get to their feminine, in order to see the light. It's like the darkness before the light. So the 3 of Swords is a time of just deep, deep pain. Masculines not opening their hearts really right now to the feminine, feeling very betrayed by her. Again, the anger that I spoke about earlier, feeling deceived by this whole journey. Like, what the fuck is this journey? Why am I on this journey? What the hell is this all about? This is extremely painful for me. I don't deserve this. You know, I always knew she would leave or he would leave. Like, they're in this place, guys. Remember, the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, okay? They're in this place of a lot of endings happening for the masculines. And this is going to involve changing home, like changing homes, moving homes for the masculines, okay? It's going to involve them leaving the home they shared with a partner. It's going to involve them having to separate time with their children. It's going to involve them, you know, leaving jobs and having to start fresh, and potentially even relocating states or countries. I don't see countries so much, but states or cities. Okay, so the masculines are starting over, honestly, on every level, or about to, or it's felt that way, okay, for 2020. Everything exploded and blew up in their face. Everything that all the seeds they had planted, everything, so this is why the Ace of Pentacles is coming up, because all the seeds they had planted in the past have blown up in their face so that a new beginning can happen. But they have to process this heartbreak, and that's what they're doing right now, is they're processing the endings, they're processing the heartbreak. And with the Star card coming up next to, or after the Three of Swords, this is the feminine lighting the way and saying, I'm still here. So the feminine saying to the masculine, and the 5D, I am still here. I didn't leave you. I didn't forget about you. Just like you promised me that you didn't leave me and you didn't forget about me. Even though it seems like that, even though it may feel like that, I never left. And then we had the High Priestess, which represents, of course, intuition, following your intuition. You know, the magic ball there, being able to predict the future. This is the feminine over here. And we have this next to the Six of Cups, which indicates it's the yearning and the longing for the past. This is a twin flame card, honestly. Most readers see this as a twin flame card, and I do as well, because there's definitely some childhood. I also see it as inner childhood wounds and healing from your childhood, but I see this as this nostalgia for what was. Okay, so wanting to build from what was, and wanting to, you know, the roots have been planted for these connections, and now it's the yearning to see it develop into something that you always knew it could be. But it's almost like with twin flame connections, you meet and then it's taken away from you before it can truly develop, and you're like I don't understand, because intuitively I know what this is supposed to be. I know what this looks like. I know the love that's there, and we just have to figure out how to do it in the 3D amidst all the obstacles. And then 2020 came, and bam, you know, we have this whole pandemic, and then everything got blown out of proportion. It's like everything became too much. Everything became overwhelming. And it was just a huge obstacle for all of the twins, especially those that live at a distance. But it had to happen that way. 2020 was never about union, at least in the beginning of the year. 2020, for the most part, was about the feminine finding her power and strength on her own, her independence, and healing codependency and finding inner union. And it was for the masculines to break away from those karmic cycles, for the masculines to start a new beginning with themselves that would lead them back to the feminine. So it actually really was about them sort of breaking apart to come back together even stronger. Okay. Let's ask, what's going on in the union energy? Because we got some ideas of what's going on separately. 8 of Cups. Yeah, I mean, walking away. So it does feel like for a lot of twins that you've had to walk away from each other. I literally just said that, right? 2020 was about walking away, divergent paths so that you could converge back together. Divergence, convergence. It's about all paths leading home, but it looks really bleak and dreary right now, especially in the masculine's energy. So I'm going to put this over here, but it is union energy because the feminines are mirroring this. The feminines are feeling this as well. They're feeling like, you know, it's that feeling of all hope is lost. And it's sort of like, I don't even know. It's sort of like, I don't even know how this could, like, where do we go from here? It's sort of this energy I'm getting and being told, where do we go from here? What comes next after this? Like we have to clearly rebuild. And that's what the Ace of Pentacles is for, is rebuilding. And that's the masculine energy of action. So taking inspired action, which comes after the healing. And the 2 of Cups in the union energy. So when we have 8 of Cups and 2 of Cups, a lot of Cups energy in this reading overall, guys. Oh, I'm going to put this here. So 2 of Cups, obviously spiritual union, a coming together, expressing your love, and no holding back. So there's going to be a time where you're going to be able to talk about what happened, to talk about the disappointment, the disillusionment, the heartbrokenness, right? The Three of Swords, to talk about the fact that you broke each other's hearts and why it had to happen. You're going to be able to see the big picture and realize it had to happen exactly like this. We had to have our hearts broken so that we could come back together so much more whole and so much more in our integrity with our emotions, with our thoughts, with our desires, with our dreams, our goals. No more games, no more deceptions. But you can't deceive someone else. As long as you're not in self-betrayal, you won't deceive anyone else. So it's like the masculines realizing, if I stay in a place of integrity, then I can't deceive my feminine anymore. But then and it's exciting, but then there's also like, and then she'll believe me, she'll trust me again. So they're realizing that's how to gain your trust back. But at the same time, they say to themselves, oh no, that means she's going to know everything. She's not, you already do, but they're realizing she knows everything, and I can't lie to her. I cannot, there's no possible way to get anything by my feminine. She or he is going to know everything before I even say it. So they realize that this is another reason that they've been in hiding, okay, is that they know they can't get one over on you. They can't pull one over on you. They can't pull the wool over your eyes. They know that you're already tuned in. You already feel everything. They know that you're extremely gifted, intuitive. That's why they're seeing you as the high priestess. They know. And so they know that they can't come in with any sort of deception. And that includes self-deception, because you're going to pick up on it and go, you're not being authentic. So I'm going over to the Queen of the Moon Oracle to find out what's going on with the feminines. Oh, again, feminines with the unexpected, resistance, and wisdom. Again, with the full moon, right? The blue moon, the full blue moon here. That's happening Halloween, October 31st. Again, I'm going to say this is the second time this has come up. Expect the unexpected. I think this came up in the union energy a few days ago, but expect the unexpected on Halloween, on the full moon. Absolutely expect the veils to be thin. Expect there to be revelations within your connection and within your own life's journey. I'm hearing, because it's in Taurus, it's going to be this grounded energy. It's not going to be like the Aries full moon, which was so ungrounding and so extremely turbulent. It's going to be very grounding. It's going to feel very good for most of us. And it's going to feel as though there's a sense of completion in your physical 3D life, okay? Full moons indicate completions. New moons indicate new beginnings. So with resistance here, we've gotten this for the feminines, I believe, recently as well. What are you resisting, feminines? Perhaps you'd like to journal on this. What are you resisting in your journey, okay? And whatever you resist persists. So it's so very true. If you're resisting or you're an ego in regards to your connection and your journey, I'd like you to try to journal on that. I'd like you to try to ask yourself, why am I resisting? What does this resistance look like? What does it mean? What does it feel like? Does it feel good? And is it serving me? Right? How much longer do I want to suffer? How much longer do I want to allow myself to be in this place of resistance? Look how clenched her hand is, when her hand could be open and she could be accepting. She could be surrendering to the journey. She could be accepting so much more abundance if she wasn't trying to, it's like the resistance to what is. Accept what is to accept more. That's the irony of when we finally surrender, is like, oh, I don't have to cling on to this. I don't have to resist this. I don't have to resist the separation. I can just accept it, and then it'll immediately transform. That's how we create transformation in our lives. Feminine is over here searching for wisdom. We already know this. She's on her journey. She's doing her mission work with her feminines. Okay, so she's over here very much in the energy of success, and she wants to know more. She continues to want to learn about herself, about this journey, about what it means, about why she's on it, why she signed up for it. Am I crazy? It's the most rewarding journey, and it's the most painful journey simultaneously. Masculines, what's going on with the masculines? Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. Ooh. We're going to take these three. Masculines had a lot to say when I asked them what's going on. They like this deck. Well, the first one that came out is darkness. Another blue moon, okay? a darkness. So something is going to be revealed in the light on this full moon. Okay, the feminine's getting the unexpected for the full moon. The full blue moon, by the way, it's a blue moon. They call it a blue moon because it's the second full moon of the month. And I know I'm repeating this, but for anyone who's new, I want to make sure they understand why this moon is so significant and why I'll be doing a live streaming video on Halloween. By the way, I will be with my two divine feminine sisters, very powerful divine feminines who we've known each other in past lives, okay, along with our masculines. We've had past lives together, and we're going to be doing, I believe we're going to be doing a ritual. I'm going to have traveled many hours the night before to get to where we are, and then we're going to be traveling up into the mountains. We're not disclosing the location, not because I don't trust you guys, but because we need to keep it protected, because we're going to be that much more powerful coming together, especially since it's my birthday. So it makes it that much more powerful, and we do want to share with you. So I don't do a lot of lives, right? I do pre-recorded lives. This will be a live video, and we will be doing that sometime on the eve, in the Northern Hemisphere evening, okay, or afternoon, but probably evening, and that'll be Halloween. Okay, so look forward to that. You'll get to meet my two soul sisters, Sally and Ariana. Very excited. Very excited. You're probably watching, at least one of you. Hi. So, okay, so the unexpected, back to this. I digress, as per usual. Back to this. The dark moon. Something is coming. There are revelations for the masculines. Something is coming to light for the masculines. And this is going to be happening on this full moon. There's something important about the energy of the rabbit. I'd like to see if the book says anything about that. So it talks about the fear of the dark and shadow work, self-reflection that's needing to be done, and why they're in pain. So this is very beautiful. Again, it lines up with all the energies that we had up here for the masculines: a 10 of swords, a 10 of wands, okay, 3 of swords, heartbreak, 4 of swords, and also the Queen of Wands. So masculines will be doing a lot of shadow work, and yet there will be light. There will be revelations as to, whoa, this is why I'm in this pain. It's going to be a huge relief for the masculines, actually. And that's why the feminines are asked to expect the unexpected, because I do feel like there will be a coming back together, if not in the physical, definitely in the spirit, okay, in the spiritual world, with the masculine and feminine energies. We have pleasure and trust for the masculines. So coming out of this energy, right? Coming out of this darkness, coming out of this shadow work, okay? The darkness. What do we have? Well, they're learning to trust, okay? They're learning to trust through all of this. And it's painful. We know this, feminines. We've been through this. It's painful. It's not fun. It's funny because as the darkness, I don't know if you guys noticed, but as the darkness card came out, literally, and it's not even that late here, it got darker here. I don't have any lights on. I just have, the blinds open. But did you notice that? Because I'm curious, because as soon as that came out, so it's like the light will be shot on the dark for the masculines around Halloween, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. And they're learning how to give themselves pleasure. They're learning that pleasure it's their God-given rights, okay? They don't have to be like, they don't have to feel guilty for it. A lot of them are very religious and felt like they needed to sort of shame themselves for the pleasure they felt with the feminine. And no, masculines, pleasure is to be enjoyed. Pleasure is to be expected. You should absolutely allow yourself to give and receive pleasure. So the masculines are learning this, and a lot of them are doing a lot of deep healing in regards to receiving and giving pleasure, because they're not getting a lot of those in the situations that they're in. Whether it's a work situation, they're working too long hours, it's a marriage, a karmic relationship, whether it's with family or just whatever, anything that's suppressing them, anything that's suppressing their real, true desires and needs is not serving them. It's honestly disserving them. Okay, so let's close out this reading, my loves, with the Halloween Oracle as promised. What do we have here? Jack-o'-lantern. Protection. So union energy, beautiful. Oh, union energy, protection, more light coming through also. So there's a protection. So This is going to be a very protective energy coming up for the twins on Halloween, on and around Halloween, okay? The spooky night, the veil is thin. What else? Ancestors, the love and legacy of your DNA. Yes, ancestral work, ancestral bonding, giving thanks to the ancestors. It's a really beautiful time to do that around Halloween, creating a ritual where you do that. Actually, that's what we might do. That's what I'm being called to do now. So I'll have to talk to my sisters, but I'd like us to, on the evening, we're just going to have a fun live chat. I'm also going to pull some cards, guys. I think Sally and Ariana will pull some cards as well. I'm going to bring some of my favorite decks with me. We'll do some card pulling for you guys. If you'd like that. So it'll be really fun because I haven't done a video like that, I don't think ever, maybe in the very beginning of this channel, but not for a long time, like 8 months. So I'd like you guys to be able to have some of your cards read. We'll just do like 3 cards per person or something, and we'll do it for a little while. And we have also here trick or treat, mischief and play. So you notice the masks are being worn, but I'm not being drawn to look at the masks. I'm being drawn to look at the words and the energy in the words. So I really like this. The ancestors are going to be, so we may do some ancestral healing as well on that video, on that live video that for you guys on Halloween. But I'm also seeing the energy coming in of just play, like the masculines remembering how to play, the feminines remembering how to play, and you guys being playful together. Bringing that playful energy back into your connection is going to also help transform it. What other union energies want to come through between now and Halloween? And 2 weeks after. Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes. Yes, this is like the death and rebirth card. This is a Scorpio card. So this is about the phoenix rising, right? Creating through the ashes, creating through your supposed disappointments or your perceived or labeled disappointments or frustrations or things that didn't work out. This is about recreating the resurrection of these unions and of this energy from the ashes of what they used to be. I just want to continue to pull cards. I'm so in this energy of not at all feeling depleted of, through card play. I actually really love it. Like, that's my little inner child coming out. My inner child got some healing when I was on my trip in the treehouse. She got a lot of great healing. Okay, so we also have, guys, we have midnight, some of the hidden energies here. Midnight, the most magical hour of all. So midnight, perhaps we'll go live around midnight. I'm a night owl anyway. So perhaps we'll do like a live from like 10 p.m. to midnight. But yeah, I mean, midnight is definitely the energy that's coming through is that time is of the essence. So I do feel magic coming in. Magic, the veil is thin on Halloween, right? It's Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, celebrated in Latin cultures. And I do feel like the veil is thin, and again, your ancestors are coming through. I'm not surprised to see that coming in, and protection, right? They're creating protection. They're protecting. The ancestors are protecting these connections. And we have the underworld where all things pause and begin again. This is sort of like, so Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld, and Pluto, isn't scared of death and resurrection. And this is sort of like the sacred pause so that everything can begin again. I feel very much like this is really, the energies here are very, very much like hand in hand with each other, the underworld. So the underbelly of your connection, the underbelly of your belief systems and all of those things that sort of need to be, some things need to die and be done with, and some things need to be resurrected. And then lastly, we have werewolf, exploring wildness. Yes! Exploring your wildness. So it's that wild woman, that energy that wants to come through for the twins. So allow that, playfulness, mischievousness right here in playfulness, and then allow that wildness. Rewild yourself, divine feminines. Rewild yourself, divine masculines, because this is going to want to come through very strongly. It's going to come through very strongly around Halloween. So that has been your reading, my loves. I may actually do another one tonight. So let me know in the comments how you'd feel about that. I don't think it would be anything you would not like to see or hear. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another reading. Take great care and have fun.